A massive sandworm swallowed him whole. That must be why the monster wouldn't enter this area, but it was too late to realize. The sandworm was devouring him. Soon he was gone underground. He quickly told the AI that his heart was failing. The suit activated the electric defibrillator. Sensing the shock inside, the sandworm vomited him out. Catching his breath, Jeff saw the sandworm was burrowing non-stop. He ran toward another cave, but when he tumbled in, he saw countless glowing bugs. They all turned red and began attacking his suit. After a struggle, he finally crawled out, barely escaping death. But from the intense movement, his oxygen was now down to 3%. He had to find Daisy fast. Luckily, he was now closer to her. Barely conscious, Jeff kept going. Before long, he found Daisy's pod. She kept her promise, linked her oxygen system with his, and gave him a repair spray to help. Together they pulled Daisy free. But just as they were about to leave, a noise came from behind. A swarm of monsters was closing in. They ran toward the wrecked ship, but the monsters were fast. Daisy used flares to confuse them, buying time to escape. Soon, they reached the ship's remains. As they stepped through the hatch, Daisy opened the system and shut the door just in time, stopping the monsters outside. They were both terrified. They planned to find a safe spot and check for supplies, but after a few steps, they saw blood all over the floor. When they looked up, there was another monster inside. They hid in the corner trembling, and when the monster moved away, they tried to sneak out, but then, out of nowhere, a monster crawled back through the pipes. They turned and ran, but after a few steps, they entered a metal room. It was the cargo bay, 10 meters above the ground, and the monster was right behind them. Just as it was about to pounce, the door jammed again. Daisy gritted her teeth and jumped down. Luckily, both survived, but the monster was still chasing. Daisy dragged the oxygen unit, pulling Jeff along, but they couldn't just keep running. Even though the bay was full of cargo, the monster could still crawl on the walls. In a desperate moment, Jeff had an idea. He told Daisy to stall it and wait for his signal. Then he ran to the giant pod in the cargo hold. Using his climbing skills, he quickly got on top. He worked on the system, first turning off the lights to give Daisy a break, then verify his ID, and opened the pod's glass door. Meanwhile, Daisy lured the monster with her glowing suit. When the creature reached the target spot, Jeff calculated the drop time, plugged in the power, and launched the pod. Right beneath them, Daisy and the monster were fighting. Jeff was sweating from the tension. Then a heavy impact followed. And just like that, they managed to kill the monster. Thanks to the pod's protection, Jeff survived too. The two of them finally saw daylight again. They slowly walked toward the ship's window, but this disaster was far from over. Rescue would take at least 18 months, but would the corporation really send anyone?